Have you ever noticed that two people can earn the same salary, live in the same city, and yet one feels constantly stressed about money while the other feels oddly calm? Not rich, not flashy, just financially lighter. The difference usually isn't intelligence, it isn't hustle, and it definitely isn't luck. It's the size of a gap most people never consciously see. Let me explain. Imagine a fairly normal situation in the US or Europe. You're in your late 20s or early 30s. You've done what you were supposed to do. You studied, got a job, and now you're earning a decent income. Let's say your salary is $65,000 a year. After taxes, healthcare, and mandatory deductions, around $3,800 actually lands in your bank account. On paper, that looks comfortable, but life doesn't happen on paper. Your rent or mortgage is $1,400. Utilities, internet, phone, another $300. Car payment, insurance, fuel, or public transport, around $450. Groceries and basic living, $500. You haven't done anything reckless. This is just normal life. You're already at about $2,650. Now come the quieter expenses. Student loan minimums, a credit card balance that never quite reaches zero, subscriptions that feel too small to cancel, a couple of social weekends a month because saying no feels worse than spending. That's another $700 or so. Suddenly, you're left with maybe $400 to $500 at the end of the month. This is where the problem begins. Not because $400 is nothing, but because of what happens next. Most people think the goal is to increase income. And yes, income matters, but the system quietly teaches you something dangerous, that as income grows, expenses should grow with it. Bigger apartment, better car, nicer lifestyle. And nobody calls this a mistake because it looks like progress. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The real driver of long-term financial stress isn't low income. It's a shrinking gap between what you earn and what you commit. Let's do very simple math. If you earn $3,800 a month and spend $3,400, your gap is $400. If you earn $4,500 a month later in your career, but now spend $4,200, your gap is only $300. You're earning more, but your financial breathing room is smaller. That's the system flaw. It rewards visible upgrades and quietly punishes flexibility. Why do people fall into this? Psychology. Humans don't experience money as numbers, we experience it as identity. A better car doesn't just transport you, it signals arrival. A nicer apartment doesn't just house you, it reduces social friction. A higher lifestyle doesn't just feel good, it reassures you that your efforts were worth it. And once those upgrades become fixed costs, they stop feeling optional. They become obligations. Here's what rarely gets discussed. Every fixed expense you add permanently reduces your future choices. A higher rent locks you into needing your current income. A larger car payment limits your ability to change jobs. More debt turns time into something you owe. And the danger isn't immediate, it's slow. Ignore this and 5 to 10 years pass quietly. Your salary increases, your lifestyle looks successful, but most of your income is already assigned before it arrives. You're not broke, but you can't take risks. You can't step away. You can't slow down. That's not a money problem. That's a gap problem. Financially intelligent people think differently. Not smarter, not more disciplined. They just obsess less over income and more over the space between income and expenses. They understand something subtle. The gap is where freedom lives. Not investment tricks, not side hustles, not extreme frugality, just space. They don't rush to upgrade identities. They let income rise quietly while expenses move slowly. They treat fixed costs like permanent decisions because they are. And they understand that saving isn't about deprivation. It's about keeping future options alive. Here's the quiet reframe. Money isn't primarily for comfort. Comfort adapts. Money is for control. Control over time, control over choices, control over stress. And the only way to build that control is to widen the gap, not accidentally shrink it as income grows. So, if you're early in your career or even midway through it, the real question isn't, how can I earn more? It's, if my income increases next year, will my gap increase too? Because that difference decides how the next decade feels. No fear here, no urgency, just awareness. And once you see the gap clearly, you start making calmer decisions without forcing discipline. If this way of thinking made money feel clearer, not heavier, you can like the video or subscribe. That's all.